Hey, YouTubers and grandmas too, hanging out there to talk to me. This is January 19th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the jungles of Hawaii, and I'm here to tell you I'm happy to be alive one more day, and I'm looking forward to when I turn 100, which is only 26 years and 7 months from today. And tomorrow we have a new president in office. And don't you know he's going to do all kinds of miracles before we get up in the morning? Of course, everybody just expects him to do everything. And so he will, of course. Don't you love this beautiful scarf? It came from one of those islands out there in the Pacific. JJ gave it to me. He went out there and fell in love and came home with a bride, along with some stars. So I wanted to talk to you about medical marijuana and the attitude adjustment that it gives to us. Not just medical marijuana, but all marijuana. I don't know about hemp. Hemp's not supposed to give you anything, but probably just the idea that it's hemp would probably give you the high, as a placebo effect. At any rate, I ran around the YouTube this morning and looked at what everybody's doing and what's going on, and I found this poor little girl who just without marijuana is just absolutely, she can't hardly even talk. It was so sad to see her and so good to see her afterward, because I've been there and I know that's what it's like. And it's like when you don't have a drug that releases your muscles just get tighter and tighter and tighter until you're a screaming ninny. I mean, there's nothing about pain that doesn't cause people to do strange things. Pain is a horrible, horrible critter. And I like marijuana because it spreads it around. I'm never rid of pain. My crippling is such that it's always there, but it kind of like spreads it around and gives me an attitude that's a little easier to handle, I'm so glad to say. So, checking on Ron Paul this morning, it was good to hear him again voice his opinion on stuff. And he said something interesting I hadn't heard him say before, that uh, ethanol was such a loser, and corn was way too expensive to use for ethanol, that sugar cane would be better. However, hemp would be even better and cheaper if they made ethanol out of hemp. And I went, oh, there, another use for hemp. This plant never stops. Cannabis, the canvas, the rope, the incredible everything that this plant does. And it's saved my life. I'm 73. What am I doing here? I have got so much damage in my body that there's no reason I should have ever lived to 73. The blockages should have put me down long ago, and here I am. And marijuana is the only drug I take, and without it, I'd be dead. So beyond Ron Paul checking out the hemp for ethanol, there was a number of other things that I found interesting when I went looking, and one of them was a cute little girl. Well, she wasn't, of course, but to me she was little. She might have been in her early 20s. She might still be in high school. But she's beautiful, and she's fresh on the medical marijuana YouTubes. And she said that even though marijuana kills brain cells, and I go, wait a minute. And I went and looked at the comments below, and everybody said, wait a minute. Marijuana does not kill brain cells. Where on earth did she hear that? And what made her believe it? It is so bad, bad, bad. Marijuana does not kill brain cells. Oh my goodness, what these kids will learn. And you hear everything every day. You don't know whether it's true or false or what. But the other thing I thought was interesting was that so many people are pleading with the legislatures to relook at the laws that govern the federal government and the judges that have to pronounce down on these marijuana people, the advocates for marijuana. I mean, not just for medical marijuana, but marijuana is a plant. Cocaine is not a plant. Cocaine is a chemical. Tobacco is not a plant. Tobacco is a chemical. It's been alterated. You don't just pick up a tobacco leaf and smoke it. No, it's been through. And so is the paper it's rolled in, making cigarettes. Very deadly. We all know that, right? So then you come to peppers and cucumbers and rosemary and thyme and spearmint and comfrey and all these plants, basil, I love smoking basil, are in my garden, and they're just waiting to be used. And where's the marijuana plant? Forbidden. And it's like belongs in the garden with all the other herbs and plants. I'm 73. Are we going to get to a normal thing on this while I'm still alive? Come on. I really want to be legal with my federal government as well as my state government. Come on, feds. Please. We've got Neil and Maisie and Dan. We got 4 guys. That's all we've got to go to the federal government and change the laws. Now, why can't those 4 people get it done along with all those other states who only got their 4 or whatever represented, right? Why can't they get the job done? Change the laws. It's like what you say to an alcoholic. You can't stop drinking. Drinking's normal. I hate when somebody says don't drink. Hey, I gotta drink, but I'm not drinking alcohol, and I don't want anybody else to drink alcohol. I say change what you drink. Change what you smoke. Change what you eat. Change what you do. Obama's are right. Michelle and what's his name? Barack? Iraq, isn't it strange? What are we going to nickname him? B-A-R, we're going to name him Barr? Michelle and Barr? They're for change. I hope they really understand what change is. We want dignity for all people who need to use drugs for whatever. All those pharmaceutical drugs all you people are on, you're druggies, and you don't even know it. And you won't admit to it because you say, oh, this is just for my blood pressure. Well, that's still a drug. Wake up and smell the flowers, which I can do right now. I can go out, take a little walk, and smell the flowers. Why? Because I smoked my marijuana today and I stayed away from all those pharmaceutical drugs that all the pharmacies, all the pharmacists, and all the doctors want me to take. So I'll see ya after I take a little run about the place and check out my flowers. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay high.